Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and mysterious true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 31, written by user mandawynz. She went out far to be alone to process her thoughts at the beach. Her car got stuck, no cell signal, yet somehow a kind stranger appeared in that moment to help her. Hey there. It's that time of the night where I'm just recounting old memories instead of falling asleep. I almost completely forgot about this one encounter I had last year and thought it would be a nice one to share on the sub. There was a day I finally had off work and decided I'd head to the beach. The closest beach is about an hour and a half away, and I decided to book it at dawn to try to get there on time to see the sunrise on my own. Just for a bit of background, I wasn't in a very good mindset back then. I always truly felt alone, kinda lost, and hopeless in my life. I felt there was no purpose in living. I'm a person that likes to run away from my problems and tries to find things to keep me distracted and constantly busy. That's why I work a lot and don't have many days off. I dreaded having days off and being alone with my thoughts and figured I'd just get away from where I was, even for a little bit. It was only going to be a half-day trip where I get to see the sunrise, take in my surroundings, meditate, and find some inner peace before going back to my mediocre life. I ended up getting there once the sun rose, which was a bummer, but it wasn't going to stop me from enjoying watching the waves. The location I went to is technically an island, but there is a massive bridge that you can use to drive over there. Once you get on the island, it's the shape of a long strip, and it can go on for miles if you drive north of it. So I decided to drive a good 8 or 10 miles out by car, where I knew there would be no people and I can just be alone. Some people do drive down that way to go deep sea fishing, but while I was driving, I didn't see any other cars. Once I got to an access point on the beach, I made a dumb move and decided to drive into the sand. I have a Kia Optima, so in no way is my car capable of driving through sand. Don't ask me why. I was kind of in a screw it, what could go wrong moment, and within 5 feet of getting into the access point, my car got stuck. There's no cell signal since I was way out there. No people, just me and my sunken car. Surprisingly, my mind was just, well, what I've been through in my life has been way worse, and I felt way worse, so this isn't so bad. I calmly went and checked what I was dealing with, and yeah, the car was mega stuck in the sand. I shrugged, rolled up my sleeves, and started to dig in an attempt to get the tires out of the soft sand. I figured I could do that for some time before I get tired, and if it didn't work, I'd just leave my car there and go enjoy the day and figure out things later. It was probably 7 a.m. at the time, so if I had to do an 8 to 10 mile walk, then no biggie. Probably in about 5 minutes of me just digging, all of a sudden I hear a voice behind me that scared the jeebers out of me. I turned to see an older gentleman in fishing gear with a big 4x4 Ford truck standing a few feet away from me asking me if everything was okay. The most distinct feature on him was that his shirt had his name embroidered on it with M. Zuniga. He was probably in his 60s. White hair I could tell by the tips that stuck out under his beige cap, round glasses, and a bit tanned. He looked like a normal old guy to be ready to go fishing. It was strange though. I didn't hear his car or even notice him getting out and walking up to me, and I was the only person there. There wasn't much background noise since I wasn't remotely close to the ocean, so it would have been hard to miss him coming up. He again asked me if I was okay. I said yeah, perfectly fine for the most part. You're crazy for trying to drive this car in there. It wouldn't have made it, he told me. I kind of laughed and told him yeah, it was a pretty dumb move on my part. He started inspecting my car and told me that he can use his truck to pull me out, and I obliged. After a few minutes of tangling around with some wires and maneuvering my car, my baby was out. I thanked him again for his generosity. What's your name? He asked me. I let him know, and he said it was nice to meet me. He looked around a bit, kinda peering into my car. And what are you doing out here all alone? I told him I had a day off work and just wanted to enjoy the day. He stares at me for a few moments, then introduces himself. My name is Mario Zuniga. Where are you from? I tell him the city I came from, and his eyes lit up. Oh, I'm from there too. I have a clinic in city, and I'm a veterinarian. After some small talk, I mentioned where I work, and he knew exactly where I was talking about. Oh yeah, the one off street name. And he seemed to be very familiar with the city. After all, he did say he lived there. After a bit more talking, he stuck out his hand and I shook it. He clasped his hand with his other hand and held it, and told me, I hope you're doing okay. I like to look out for people and just wanted to see how you're doing. I'm going fishing, but I'm heading out a couple miles from here and will probably be out all day, and I'd love to invite you, but I don't know when you'll have to leave. I told him I appreciated the offer, but that it was okay. I wasn't planning on staying long. He told me that if I wanted to hang out at the beach, it's probably best if I head south instead, where I can park in an actual parking lot and just walk my way up the shore, and I agreed. He wished me the best and reminded me that things will be okay, and went on his way. I don't know if I gave off that solemn kind of energy, and he felt it, or thought I may have wanted to do something extreme while alone out here, but his last words of reminding me that things are going to be okay stuck with me potently. I ended up going to the south side and hanging on the beach there for a couple of hours, then decided to Google him since he was a vet in my town. The city I live in is relatively small, and I only know of 3 vet clinics in the area. I did an extensive search of his name and looked up the majority of vets that work in those clinics and could not find an ounce of this man anywhere. It was as if he didn't exist, almost, because even then I felt like he had appeared out of thin air, and on top of that, I was the only person that saw him. To this day, I kind of felt like he was some sort of guardian angel to me, especially when he reminded me that people do care, and there are people there to look out for you. I'm curious to know what you guys think of this encounter. Please let me know. Case Notes, File Number 31. As peculiar and hard to explain it is, I almost feel like it was just meant to be this way. An intersection of fates that brought you the small token of joy, hope, even faith in humanity that you needed desperately. Was it fate, a crossover glitch, or just happenstance? What I do know is that Mr. Zuniga was your guardian angel in his small way, either by celestial means or terrestrial. And that concludes our stories for the night. If you enjoyed them, consider leaving a like and also subscribing. I upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. EST with more case files just like these. I'll see you there.